Hi, how are you doing? This is Pastor Cheryl here again. Um, I promised you yesterday that we would do the third sign. The third sign in John is John 5. Um, let's see, the third sign, starting with verse 1, is the healing of the sick. After this, a Jewish festival took place, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. By the sheep gate in Jerusalem, there was a pool called Bethesda in Aramaic, which has 5 colonnades, which these lay a large number of disabled, blind, lame, and paralyzed. Sounds like my group, right? One man was there who had been disabled for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there, 38 years. Wow. Realized he had already been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to get well?" "Sir," the disabled man answered, "I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. But while I am coming, someone wants to go down ahead of me." "Get up," Jesus told him. "Pick up your mat and walk." Instantly, the man got well, picked up his mat, and started to walk. Now that day was a Sabbath, and so the Jews said to the man who had been healed, "This is a Sabbath. The law prohibits you from picking up your mat." He replied, "The man who made me well told me, 'Pick up your mat and walk.'" So they're seeing a miracle, but they're still stuck, in all these rules and regulations. They just can't see the forest for the trees. "Who is this man who told you to pick up your mat and walk?" they asked. But the man who was healed did not know who it was, because Jesus had slipped away into the crowd that was there. After this, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "See, you are well. Do not sin anymore, so that something worse doesn't happen to you." The man went and reported to the Jews that it was Jesus who had made him well. Therefore, the Jews began to persecuting Jesus because he was doing these things on the Sabbath. That's just unreasonable, right? He did a miracle on the Sabbath, and now they're persecuting him. That's just absolutely ridiculous. That's outrageous. But anyway, that was the third sign. The third sign, Jesus was the Messiah. And so we've been going through, little sections of John at a time. It's kind of a Bible study. And I am hoping that you enjoy it. See, I'm out here at the, I'll just swing it around so you can see. This is my front porch. And when my house churches typically are always 6 people, always a half dozen. We used to get like 15, 12 to 15 when I was younger. But since then, it's just always 6 people. And when something happens to one of them and they disappear or die, it just miraculously another one shows up. So, yeah, there's my easel over here. Can you see it? I do my painting here in the summertime. It's kind of a noisy spot to be doing painting. Let's be real. If you want to be painting outdoors, you want a quiet spot. But this is what I have because this is a threeplex. And, you know, uh, you just, and it was Section 8. So I took it temporarily about 8 years ago and haven't found another place since. And when you're retired, you don't have a tax return anymore that you could move on. That's how I used to move. It's my tax return, of course. And so now I just have to save up, pull. like 200 out or 300 out each month, shove them in a drawer or something, and eventually I have a pile big enough to do something with. Like Christmas, most of it went for Christmas. So, anyway, um, see, I'm wearing my little grief pin here. Um, and so, anyway, so Sonia across the street, see the house with all the stuff on the front porch? That's her house. She was put into a nursing home. She would appreciate visitors. Now she would kind of fit in with this group. She was born with a twisted leg, and she said, a number like 8 surgeries to turn it around. But there was always something wrong with this leg, and it breaks just from her walking on it. And she's now, I think, 82. Her knee broke, and she's been trying to stay thin, extremely thin. I mean, she's extremely thin, so that her bones wouldn't break from walking on her bones and her leg. And so it's a sad thing. She's in a nursing home. She can't take care of herself anymore. She would appreciate visitors. So give me a buzz and ask where she's at, and I'll tell you. She would appreciate visitors. Um, but this is kind of, where we do. If there's rain here, if there's rain, when on Sundays we have our worship services out here, and then otherwise it's out in the backyard or at a chapel. And I will show you the chapel when it gets warm enough, because today it's chilly and windy, and it's. I want to show you these. You see that? We make prayer rocks. I thought you'd like that. I'll have to dust them off, and we're still distributing with our group. I get them to pray for oh things that are important, each other, and things like pray for peace. It's important, right? Peace is a good idea, always. This one here, pray for a 501c3. They keep trying to save up for that. These are poor people. This one here, pray for a food box. We have one fellow who doesn't like the food box idea. I happen to like it. Well, I found someone that'll put food in it, and we'll put it out at our. We will put it out at our meditation garden, and so that neighborhood can have food, because we're going to go into a really terrible time. Um, they said starting this year, we're in the wars and rumors of wars of the part of the Bible where it talks about that, and then we'll have peace and sudden destruction. Wow, yeah. So I hope that you enjoyed today. It's cold and windy out, and then tomorrow is supposed to rain. And so I will keep up with the Bible studies, and you can put your comments below of what you would like to say about the Bible study, or what you think what you read, and a prayer request if you have a prayer request, because we have a praying group. And give me a thumbs up, and then ring the little bell, and we'll try to get this group. This it's kind of like an online church, really. People submit. I have a group of ladies that like this, and we're no man yet, no man. So if you're a guy, subscribe. And so I'll see ya. Bye bye.